Hey Pitmasters, what is up? Today we're going to compare venison to lamb. I got a beautiful rack of venison and I also got a small rack of lamb, but I want to compare these two. This is 1.5 kilograms of venison, this is 1/2 kilogram of lamb, and they are fantastic cuts. They came all the way from New Zealand, they're grass-fed, they're both from the same farm, and they are both raised on the same land. So it's a good comparison. At the moment, venison is very popular, it's in season, people want to have it, people want to eat it. You know, so I think it's a hot topic, but I also want to make sure you know what you're getting. I want to make sure that we're going to compare this to something that is not that popular. Lamb, for instance. The big audience doesn't love lamb, so we can compare these two and find out what the differences are.
But why lamb?
Because lamb is like something that you can compare to venison, but especially like flavor-wise. People are like, yeah, afraid of it, that it's too strong in flavor. And I think the venison is definitely going to be stronger in flavor. We'll light up a barbecue and let it come up to temperature. So in the meantime, we can prepare some spices that we want to put on our racks of meat. We're going to crush 2 tablespoons of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of fennel seeds. Let's crush it up. We'll crush 3 smoked garlic cloves. We'll chop fine some parsley, add it to our spice mix. And we're also going to add 5 tablespoons of salt flakes. Mix that up. With the rack of lamb, we got a nice bit of fat on our rack. And I don't want to take that off. I just want to leave that on. I just want to lightly squirt it with my knife. We'll put on a little bit of olive oil. This will help the herbs stick to our beautiful lamb rack. Now we'll take a look at this venison. Look at that beautiful loin that's here. But you can see that there's silver skin on here, which is also there on the lamb, but with the venison it's just too thick. Gonna have to cut it off. We'll season this up as well. I'm putting a chunk of oak in our charcoal. That's going to provide us with smoke flavor, and that's perfect for our lamb and venison because it has a little bit more heavy flavor to stand up to the heavy flavor profile. Put the heat deflectors in, put the grill grates in as well. Now that the barbecue is back up to temperature, we're going to put on our venison rack. We'll let this come up to temperature and then we'll add our lamb. I want something to go with our venison and our lamb, something that binds it together, something that's almost healthy. Yeah, healthy. I'll show you. We'll chop up an onion first. I put a pan on my little stove and we'll put in some olive oil. Add the onions to the olive oil and a little bit of leftovers from our spices. That smell. Wow. Now we're going to add some fresh cooked broccoli. Just 1 big chunk of broccoli. I'm going to test this new gadget that I got, and it's supposed to turn things into a puree, but it's made out of plastic. So we'll find out if it works or not. This needs to be mushed way more than this. It's a nice idea, but it doesn't work. This is not good enough for me, it's not good enough for you. Good enough for me, it's not good enough for you.
You don't have the music rights for that.
Sorry. We'll do it the old school way. While pureeing this, we're going to add some chicken stock. Now we gotta try it, see what it tastes like, and if it will work with our venison and lamb. It actually tastes like really good puree. You want to try it?
Yeah.
Is it weird if I feed you?
Don't feed me. Just give me the spoon.
Would you rather eat broccoli or would you rather eat this?
This.
But to this we're going to add spices. I want to power this up. I want it to be heavy. I want it to be strong in flavor. So we'll add 2 teaspoons of horseradish, a tablespoon of mustard, some fresh ground black pepper. So that's going to be around 1/2 tablespoon. Now we'll mix this up. There we go. It's still a bit boring. It needs salt, but I don't want to add more salt because I want it to be like the thing that on the plate is going to bind everything together. And we got salt on the meat. We're going to have some balsamico on the side and some other things. I just want more spiciness. We want to add more pepper. Don't get me wrong, this tastes really, really good. I just want it to be fantastic. Now it's good. It's just creamy and soft and relaxing until you get the pepper, and it just kind of want. Yeah, it's not knocking you out or anything, but it's definitely there. So it's going to give us that little bit of spiciness and the thing that binds this whole dish together. Let's get the lamb on before we overcook our venison and undercook our lamb. There we go, lamb on. The venison is starting to look good. We're getting a nice bit of color. Now we'll let this smoke until we reach a core temperature of around 48 degrees. We'll give it a quick sear and then we'll plate it up. All bad things come in 3, but the same goes for all good things. So we got our meat on our plate, we got our puree, but I want to top it off with a little sauce. We're gonna make it right now. Put my little pan on the stove. Add a 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar, a 1/4 cup of cane sugar, and 3 tablespoons of honey. Stir it up and let the sugars dissolve. Oh. You can't show the people that I taste in between. We are going to check on the temperature of our venison and our lamb. I want to make sure we got the right temperature. So the venison is almost done, and the lamb, it's almost done as well. We want to finish these off at around a temperature of 54 degrees Celsius, but I also want to get a quick sear on them. So basically we did a reverse sear with a bit of smoke. I'm going to take off the heat deflector, put the grill grate down and sear both of them up. You can see that the venison is a lean cut. There's almost no fat on here. Let's take the venison off and now we'll start searing our lamb, and you will see a different effect. We can see that we get a better Maillard effect on the fat than on the lean meat. Here you can see the difference, a little bit of fat there, lean meat there. It's the same thing that's going on with the venison. We'll get the lamb off and we'll let this rest for at least 10 minutes. The 10 minutes are up, right?
It's like 7, but...
Nah, we can get away with it.
Yeah.
That's basically always the question. Not really is the time up, but can we get away with it now? Yes, we can. Sometimes it's very important to wait. It really matters. But now, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, it's not science, it's barbecue. Let's slice into this. And the bones always run like this, so you have to look in the back where you're gonna cut. And then you want to start at the back and then slice it through with as little motion as possible. And then you open it up and behold, there is the magic. Just a little sear on the outside, super juicy. Can't wait to bite into this. If I just slightly touch this, you see the juices running. Now let's slice into our lamb. It's the same thing. It runs at a little bit of an angle, so you want to make the incision in the back first. And then one slice. Ooh, look at that. Nice and pink on the inside. Super juicy. Looking really good. We're gonna be eating well, Morrison. I'm gonna take a bite because I can't wait any longer. I'm gonna start with the familiar lamb. New Zealand lamb, grass-fed. Look at the juices dripping. This is just crazy. There we go. That first bite, right away, it's like biting into like an orange or something. It's like all these juices exploding in my mouth, and it's so super tender. I love lamb so much. This is just really good. The lamb has a lot of fat on it. It was really juicy. Lamb goes so well together with barbecue. Absolutely fantastic. I love it. These spices, they do a good job, but they don't overpower. Man, this is an absolute treat. Now, let's bite into our venison because we want to know how the lamb stands up to the venison. You can already see that we have a lot less fat, but maybe the wild gamey flavor will make up for it. There we go. Wow, crazy juicy. What a great way to cook venison. And the weird thing is, it's the same thing, but at the same time, it's not the same thing. The venison is a lean cut, but it's so juicy as well. And the flavors are really, for venison, they're really, really delicate. You know, I'm used to wild venison. This is grass-fed, raised on a farm, and it's not that powerful in flavor, but oh boy, this is good. Do you like lamb?
Yeah, let's do the real taste test.
No, don't go there. Don't do that. If you talk like that, I'm gonna make you do the dishes. There you go, one juicy piece of lamb.
Oh yeah.
This is good, right?
Yeah.
How juicy is that?
This is amazing.
It's crazy juicy. Don't eat the bone. You can't eat the bone. I'll try this. See how juicy that is? It's just still dripping. Don't choke on it.
It's so soft.
Don't put it all in your mouth at once. See, now the camera starts shaking. It's not the same thing. And of course, I know it's not the same thing. It's completely a different animal. But if you can compare, like, what's the difference between beef and pork, then you can compare lamb and venison, right? The venison has a little bit of that gamey flavor, but it just comes at the end with our venison that's been grown on a farm. So it's not the same thing as wild venison. You cannot absolutely compare it flavor-wise. Much less powerful, but at the same time it's more enjoyable because, you know, it's balanced. The verdict is that both are great. Is that not good?
We're only gonna plate off one.
That's true. I love lamb more than I love venison. Deep in my heart, lamb and barbecue, they're like this. So I think I want to put venison on the plate because we don't eat venison as much as I do eat lamb. But if I have to pick a winner, it's going to be the lamb because of the fat, because of the, I don't know, the crisp that you get on the outside. It's just that little bit better than venison. All right, now let's plate it up. First, we'll put on our beautiful puree of broccoli. Put on our venison, maybe some microgreens, some sunflower and pumpkin seeds. And for sweet and sourness, we're going to add our balsamic sauce. For a plate that looks this good, I'm taking out my knife and fork. Wow, this is going to be good. Let's take a piece of that venison. Look at how tender that loin is. I want a little bit of that puree on there, a little bit of that sauce. There we go. Now let's see if it all works together, if it just comes together and blends in. This is really tasty. One more bite to be sure. Yep. There we go. The acidity of the balsamic, it just adds a little bit of depth. And the pepper in the puree, it does a great job. But the venison is the real star on this plate. Absolutely fantastic. We cooked some great food. We made a beautiful plate. I really enjoyed that venison, but I love the lamb. And if I'm taking in consideration that you pay around 70 euros a kilogram for our venison, and at the same time you pay around 20 to 30 euros for our lamb, that's a big price difference. You guys requested this venison video and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know by smashing that like button, and I would love to see what your preference is, so put it down below in the comment. I want to say a big thank you to our patrons and our YouTube members. Hope to see you guys next time. Until then, eet smakelijk and keep on grilling.